Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Munce Report as trainer Chris Munce joins us to dissect the weekend's runners and also recap the week that was. Welcome, mate. You're coming to us this week from Bundaberg ahead of the Bundaberg Cup, and I understand, as luck would have it, you were with owner Phil Goodsky yesterday as Coco Fashion saluted at Ipswich. Tell us about that.
Yeah, no, it was an exciting day. We were playing golf, and we're up here for Archer Park and the Bundaberg Race Club. They're having their big cup day tomorrow up here, and we were playing golf. And as the race was on, Phil was watching it, and I was on my phone watching it. And when she hit the line, Phil was running around like a big Brahman bull and carrying on. But it was a lot of fun. It was a very good win by her.
We know he obviously gets excited. People may know him from as the owner of Stampy also, and there's obviously some good photos from when Stampy won previously of him giving you a big bear hug. So yeah, no doubt he would have been pretty excited after the win. It was her first win since joining your stable, Coco Fashion.
Yeah, it was, and yeah, he certainly lived up to his bear hug reputation, that's for sure. But look, it was a great win by the mare. I mean, she just kept on improving this prep each run. She's got fitter, and now that she's out to a trip that I think she really likes, she could probably go on with it now that she's racing with a bit of confidence and she's in good form.
Do you think you'll step her up in trip again, or is that sort of her right range about that distance?
Look, I think a mile is probably her right distance, but I mean, the way she's going at the moment, I'd be happy enough to give her a go at the 1,800, 2,000 metre mark, something like that. It's interesting, Larry, last night after the race, he sort of suggested we stay to the mile mark, and I probably agreed that we would if I can find the right race, but obviously that'll be program dependent on what races are coming up in the next few weeks.
Yeah, it was a very good win, and it could have easily been a treble at Ipswich after 3-point Missile and TWERK both went down in narrow sort of photo finishes. Interesting little point with 3-point Missile. You sent him over the jumps on Wednesday prior to the race just to sharpen him up and get him thinking a bit. And talk us through that from a training point of view, why you decided to do that.
Yeah, look, it's just it's a tool that I've used in the past, and I've just found it quite helpful to certain horses. It doesn't help all horses, but I think certain horses that sort of they get into a bit of a rut and get into just a routine of the same mundane, boring thing every day. It just seems to mix their mind up and freshen their mind up a little bit. Now, he was a horse that of track work of a morning, he's a very, very hard going horse, and probably sometimes does too much on the track. But for me, his first two runs, he wasn't really ready fully anyway, and we'd only had the one trial into his first run, and he was slow away. I thought he ran on okay. Second run, he was slow away again, and he improved. His performance improved, I felt, and I thought he was on the right trajectory going forward. And since that last run also, we'd give him a sharp 400-metre jump out just to get him to leave the gates a bit better, and obviously jumping him, I think, helped him just, I suppose, freshen his mind. And I thought he was a very, very brave runner-up yesterday. It was a shame he couldn't win because I think the run deserved a winning position.
And obviously, Emily Lang, your track work rider, had her work cut out for him over the jumps. He was obviously a bit unsure of what was happening early on, and then he got the hang of it pretty quickly.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's funny, you know, for a horse that's such a hard-going horse, and he goes around like a bull at a gate, but then as soon as he sees a little bloody fence in front of him, he props and stops, and he's not as brave as what he thinks he is. But Emily does a very good job, you know, with some of these horses, getting them over the fences, and she's a very good rider in her own right. And once he got the gist of what he had to do, he loved it. He was certainly sailing over them quite well, and he's actually quite a good jumper once he got the gist of it all.
Very good. And just quickly touching on TWERK, obviously she was a great run as well, and narrowly went down.
Yeah, wasn't she brave? You know, like she's a mare now that's had I think she's had 6 or 7 runs this time in, and she just continues to amaze me with her strength, you know, and her longevity, I suppose. That's one of a better word. She's just copped her racing well, continued to perform well each time she goes out. You know, it's certainly, this preparation has been one of the most consistent preps that she's had. Although she's only won the one race, she's certainly been unlucky on a number of occasions and been very narrowly beaten on the others. So look, I was certainly not disappointed with her performance at all yesterday. It took $1.50 pop to beat her, and she went down very bravely.
Yeah, very good run. Okay, well, that's sort of a bit of a recap. Let's get into the preview ahead of the weekend. You've got runners heading to Doomben, the Gold Coast and the Sunshine Coast over the weekend. Doomben Saturday, the Archer Park owned Latin Prophet steps up to Saturday grade in a cutest 3-year-old handicap over 1,600 metres. How's he heading into tomorrow's race?
I think he's in good order, Adam. I had sort of thought about spelling him after or just before his last run, but the way that he raced and the way that he pulled up after it sort of suggested that I'd be mad not to give him another run. He's in good order. He's got dapples all over him, and he's the sort of horse that's just improved with racing and education and race experience. I don't think he got round Ipswich very well the other day, and he got left flat-footed about the 600 when I thought if Justin had been able to get him rolling into the race at that point, which he couldn't do because there was a slow horse in front of him, I thought that would have made the difference between winning and losing. He was only narrowly beaten, but I think this isn't a very strong race. I know it's an open 3-year-old, but there's not a lot of depth in it, and certainly he's on the right trajectory going forward.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, to see how he measures up in that grade. An Archer Park stablemate, Lady BRAHMOS, who's obviously in form, steps up to 1,300 metres in a Class 3 plate at Doomben, and she was one of 4 runners that you took down to Nudgee Beach this week, and obviously had a bit of a swim around, and you know that was obviously something that you like to do ahead of their races.
Yeah, I love the beach. It's good for recovery. It's good for their minds. Particularly horses that get a bit stressed. And you know, with the stress with the stable environment, they get down there and you can just feel them change. They just switch off and relax. And Lady BRAHMOS, she's a bit of a busy bee sometimes in the stable. So, but she loves getting down there and she power walks through the water, and it just seems to get her mind right. But look, her run the other day was fantastic against 2 quite nice fillies, and I suppose that the only where she gets in the run, I'm not too sure. Doesn't look to be a lot of speed in the race. Justin's going to have to probably be a bit positive on her, I would think, but I'll leave that up to him. But it's a tricky race. I suppose there's $1.40 pop in it of Matty Rocks, but certainly it won't want to be giving us too much start.
Okay, very good. And then the dynamic duo, Super Bowl Sunday and Wowzers, who are both last start winners. They fly the flag for the team in the benchmark 72 handicap over 1,600 metres. How are they both heading into this?
Both going really, really well. Shame to have to run 2 horses that are in good form together, but they're in good order, both horses. I thought Super Bowl Sunday, he's drawn nicely and should be able to have the speed to be able to put himself wherever he wants to be, whether that's in front or behind a couple or wherever he wants to be. But Larry was quite adamant that he'll run the mile after he won on him the other day. It's a shame Larry couldn't ride him today, but I just thought with a 59.5, he'd be better placed with a 2 kilo weight relief off him, and I think Justin should be able to roll forward and control the race. And there'd only be one thought in the sign downloading, which they always seem to like going forward on it as well. But I'll just leave it up to Justin. He doesn't have to lead Super Bowl, and he should put himself in the right spot. Wowzers, on the other hand, I don't know where he gets to. He's drawn pretty awkwardly, and probably going to have to go back a little bit, and it just depends on the speed of the race as to how he performs, you know. But he's in good order, the horse. The horse is racing as well as he ever has.
Yeah, well, they're all in form, all those runners heading to Doomben on Saturday. So interesting to see how they all go. The Gold Coast on Saturday, the towering Ciarente, he's all set to make his debut over the 1,400 metres. He was obviously scratched a couple of weeks ago at the barriers at the Sunshine Coast. As he mended his ways with the barriers, I guess it's all to do with his sort of size. He's a towering fellow.
He's a big horse, and he gets claustrophobic when he gets in there, which I suppose is to be expected. But he'll sport a barrier extension, which it's just an extension strap they put on the back of the barriers to give him a little bit more room to move and relax. And I'm sure he'll be okay. He's had a jump out since Caloundra, so from a good draw, I'm just going to have to instruct Michael to Murphy to have the horse wherever he's comfortable, and then we'll just assess him after that as to where we go with him.
Yep, fair enough. The other runner you've got at the Gold Coast, but is also a dual acceptor at the Sunshine Coast, is Royal Sheen, who resumes for one Kathy Munce in a Class 1 plate over the 1,300 metres. If you decide to go that way at the Gold Coast, have you spoken with the owner? You know which way you're going to go?
No, I haven't spoken to her yet, but my leaning would probably be Clounder on the Sunday. Nice big track. I just think the Gold Coast Saturday's probably not very well placed with 59 kilos from a bad gate. Don't know if it's going to be a lot of benefit running him from there and sort of walking away from the races, not knowing how he actually performed. Where I think we go to Clounder, nice big track, horse finds his feet, and we'll get a good assessment of him after that as to where we go with him distance-wise and class of race-wise too, I suppose. But he's actually spelled very well, this horse. He's strengthened up a lot, and I've always liked him. He's a lovely mover, and everybody that rides him comments on how well he carries himself and how nice a mover he is. So look, he'll win his races again this time in, and we've just got to kick him off and see where we go after the weekend.
Yeah, striking grey fella, that dark grey coat. So be good to see him back at the races. And then the Sunshine Coast on Sunday, you've got Dash for Dreams, who kicks off her preparation in a cutest 3-year-old maiden handicap over the 1200.
Yeah, she kicks off on Sunday. She'll be wearing a tongue tie and blinkers on the weekend. She raced in blinkers last time, but after we trialled her this time around, Justin recommended a tongue tie. He said she just was making a bit of a noise after the trial, so we'll put a tongue tie on her. But she's a very nice mare, this or filly, who I believe has always shown me enough to win her races. So probably need to find her feet a little bit there Sunday, but Clounder gives Ryan Wiggins a chance to do that. He can let her relax and finish the race off very nicely. So we'll assess her more after the weekend, but she's certainly a nice filly going forward.
Yeah, and obviously, if people remember back to earlier this year, she obviously had her first start in a race behind Isotope and things. So you've had a bit of an opinion of her.
Yeah, look, she's always had a nice ability, and I thought her trials this time around have been quite good also. So she's on the right path this prep.
Very good, mate. All right, well, some good chances and some interesting runners over the weekend. So thanks for your time and insights, and good luck to the stable and connections over the weekend.
Good on you, Adam. Thanks, mate.